Tony Montana didn't just lose his empire. He lost his mind long before the bullets came. Scarface isn't just a gangster film, it's a psychological autopsy of a man who destroyed himself from the inside out. Tony arrives in Miami with nothing. He's poor, humiliated, stuck flipping burgers. But from the very beginning, his psychology is clear. Ordinary survival is not enough. Tony is driven by what psychologists might call narcissistic grandiosity. He believes he is destined for greatness, but greatness defined only by domination. His philosophy is simple: money, then power, then women. This isn't ambition in a healthy sense, it's obsession. In psychology, obsession blurs the line between goal and identity. Tony doesn't just want power, he becomes power. Without it, he is nothing. That hunger, that refusal to ever feel small again, plants the seed of his downfall.
This country, you gotta make the money first. Then when you get the money, you get the power. Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
Tony Montana never truly trusts anyone. To him, loyalty is fragile, respect is conditional, and betrayal is inevitable. Psychologically, this is classic paranoid personality. He interprets even neutral actions as threats. When Frank Lopez hesitates, Tony sees weakness. When Manny flirts with his sister, Tony sees treachery. But here's the tragedy: paranoia works until it doesn't. It helps Tony climb, because in the drug world, suspicion keeps you alive. But once he's on top, paranoia turns inward. It isolates him, poisons his relationships, and ensures that betrayal eventually becomes reality. Tony's mansion is not a home, it's a monument. The golden globe that reads "The world is yours" is more than decor. It's a mirror of Tony's psyche. In psychology, we call this grandiose narcissism. Tony believes he is untouchable, special, above the rules. This explains his infamous refusal to bomb the journalist in Bolivia. It's not morality, it's self-image. Killing women and children would make him look weak, dishonorable. His ego matters more than strategy, and that's the paradox of narcissism. The same inflated self-image that makes someone climb higher is the very thing that blinds them to reality on the way down.
The fuck is that? Hey, come here. You told me she took the kids in the other car.
She did, boss. She did every fucking day. I don't know what's going on.
Tony doesn't just use cocaine, he drowns in it. To outsiders, it looks like indulgence, but psychologically it's anesthesia. Cocaine fuels his grandiosity, numbs his emptiness, and silences his paranoia for a moment. But in reality, it magnifies them. Substance abuse amplifies paranoia, shortens the fuse of anger, and inflates impulsivity. By the end, Tony is literally burying his face in the very substance that symbolizes his empire. His addiction is a metaphor. His kingdom isn't built on rockets, built on powder. And eventually, powder blows away. Nothing reveals Tony's psychology more than how he treats the people closest to him. Manny, his brother figure, dies at Tony's hands, not because Manny betrayed him, but because Tony's paranoia and sexual jealousy consumed him. Elvira, his wife, walks out not because she didn't love him once, but because his obsession and drug use made love impossible. Gina, his sister, is both idolized and controlled. Tony both protects and imprisons her until even she turns away in fear. Psychologists call this fear of abandonment. Tony is so terrified of losing people that he suffocates them, pushes them away, or destroys them. Ironically, the very thing he fears most, being left alone, becomes his fate. By the final act, Tony Montana is a dead man walking, alone in his fortress, mountains of cocaine on his desk, paranoia in his veins. Freud once described something called the death drive, an unconscious pull toward self-destruction. Tony embodies it. His choices no longer serve survival, they serve annihilation. That's why the final shootout feels less like murder and more like suicide. Tony isn't just fighting assassins, he's fighting the world, because he can't live in it anymore. His last words are a delusion of power, screamed by a man already gone. Tony Montana's fall isn't just about crime, drugs, or violence. It's a case study in psychology. His obsession with power consumed his identity. His paranoia isolated him. His narcissism blinded him. His addiction eroded him. His fear of abandonment destroyed the very bonds that gave his life meaning. And so, by the time the bullets hit, Tony Montana was already dead inside. Scarface is not the story of a gangster, it's the story of a man who mistook power for purpose, and self-destruction for destiny.